Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Tina and I am delighted to be here with you in a continuation series of scrapping with scraps. Excuse me. I had a couple of people reach out to me in my group. One in particular was like a challenge, but it was all about they don't make cards. And so the idea was I'm a card maker and a scrapbooker. So I have always just made my last few cards to say goodbye. But what happens when you want to scrap or get that last page? So this is a series. I've already done 2 videos in the series. This will be the 3rd. And this is a technique that I showed recently. But I felt like I really needed to do another version of it and add it for this series. All right, so here's what I have. This is autumn vibes, but when I show a paper pack, it's quite possible if I found paper that went with it, or like these are from a Simple Stories card kit, I will sometimes just throw pieces in. I highly encourage you to move your pieces as you go. It really does make it a lot easier when you're working through something. The other thing I'm going to be adding is this whole sheet of stickers. Now, I normally wouldn't be adding this whole sheet of stickers, but everybody who places an order on my website, I'll put the information down below. While supplies last, we have quite a few. This is one of the free gifts. So we give free gifts with every order, but this actually started yesterday. We gave out the first one. So I wanted to show, a little something with those as well. So I'm going to bring those in. It just so happens it matches this paper I'm destashing. I did a little pre-work, right? Oh, I just realized my mic's not on. Let's see. That got me in one of my videos yesterday. There we go. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just teach this technique, but I am going to share a couple of details about this. One is I'm doing this as a cover or an ending page. So this would be for your first or your last page. I will probably get one more layout out of this. So I did make a second embellishment where you can do this technique. And this, of course, I brought my Cricut in. And I'll be showing a Cricut short on how to do this. We have a new thing that's going to be featured here on the YouTube called Cricut Shorts. So make sure you check that out. And this one is called, I think it's called Traced Cutout is what I'm calling this one. But I've brought this one all the way in, and this is, grab, instead of moving it to my glass board, I'm going to do this. Okay, so this is 10 by 10. And then this one goes to 10 and a half. This one goes to 11. And then that way you have like the 1/4 of an inch, the 1/4 of an inch, and then the half to make it bigger. This being a 10 by 10, I like the cutout to be as big as it can possibly be. But if you have less scraps and you're trying to stretch them, you would need a smaller version. Now you can do this 2 ways. You could really flip this over and try to find a way to like tape them all the back and make them work. I don't like to do that, so we're going to be using the white piece as our background. This is just the way I prefer to do them. All right, I'm going to grab a pencil. You're going to cover the pencil up so it's not that big of a deal. There we go. I can't find one of my lovely lead pencils I like. And I'm always going to go around the lines, but like down here, I'm actually going to give some tracing references, but I don't want to mark the orange. I don't want to see any pen on the orange. And the idea is I'm going to go over this anyway. So I'm just making little marks to kind of cover where it would be. And then I can look at the leaf next to me, but I don't have to guess. All right, let's take a look. And it's just a real fast way to mark it. Here it is. And you can mark yours however you would like if you want to trace the whole thing. But here's my markings. I know I want to go past all of these. I know these are my down points, but I'm going to cover that whole area. These 2 I didn't need to mark because I know that I'm going to end up covering it anyway. This is my little stem that comes right down here like this. All right, I hope that made sense. And if, as always, if you have any questions, please just let me know. All right, now I have added a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Oh wait, I think I did this at a 3 by 4. Let me just double check because I wanted to cover less, so I'll crop my photo in. Let's see, I might have did like a 3 1/8. I don't want to, yeah. So I did 3 1/8, 4 1/8. and then this is 3 3/8 by 4 3/8. All right, that's going to be the picture that I put on there with just a little title next to it to show off this design. I really like this fall memories that's right here. And I had cut the bottom off probably because I needed the other side. So that is not something I'm delighted about, but I'm going to use what I have here. All right, I'm going to just grab some pieces and bring them in. I'm going to add some solids to this because I think I'll just like the way that it kind of sets it all off. Okay. And just kind of pulling in. I should have enough of this paper, and my paper's two-sided. I should have enough of this paper to do a second project, but I really want to get the smaller pieces more than anything else that I have. And I'm trying to leave a decent amount of everything. This here would be perfect to cut off. I'm going to do that with a straight cutter just because I know I have another project with this. All right, I'm just going to lay this on because these pieces do not have to be nice to do this technique. Your pieces could be all kinds of diagonals, crazy leftovers. You know, I'm not saying hoard your pieces, but you can get a lot of bang for your buck out of this technique. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, just cut off some of this one. I think that's going to be a big enough piece, but if not, I'll pull some more in. All right, let's go ahead and fill this. These are all my pieces. You can, now I'm not going to do the stitching technique on this. If you want to see that, check out a prior video that I did in my Lucky Cat series, the bonsai exhibit. All right, I'm going to just kind of cut some of these down and just get me started with some pieces. I liked the idea of a couple of the smaller pieces there, bringing in just a little bit of red. Here's some of the mini dot that I did not use, but it's a nice color to kind of add. I like the leaves, I like both sides of this one, so I'm going to cut 3 of those. Give me 1 more of these. Now the lines. I am going to trim this up a little. And since you do some overlapping, you can kind of do a little bit more. Okay. All right, got some of that stripe, so I don't feel like I need that, but I do like this fall memories. You can even put things like this, like giving thanks, all kinds of words and all in this. All right, I'm going to do this my fast way. The more I do these, I think the faster I get at them. All right, there we go. Did I tap my, I think that's it. Let's just say, oh yeah, I get to get rid of that one. Okay. All right, so now what I can do is I can just kind of organize my pieces, lay them out. I'm definitely going to need more. I can tell by looking at them. I'm going to need more. I'm going to take this one here. This is kind of thin for me. I'm worried that, let me just take a look at it. I'm worried that it might all, like, you know, it's so straight and this curves and my piece is so thin. That would have to be perfect if I wanted that to be in there. I might hold that and do that in something else. Okay. And now we're going to just have some fun and start putting a bunch of pieces in. Like I said, I'm going to go over all my pieces. And right here, I'm going over top of this. You can see that there. And I'm probably going to do that quite a few times and just keep adding. I think I'm going to probably want some more variety. As I go. I want this. I like that. I'll do that orange and plaid all next to each other. Now you can do these where you don't overlap them, and I have already shared and showed a version of that as well. I really enjoy, there's something kind of relaxing about how it all just comes together. And this, with this one, with the over, when you have like little flaps like that, at the end, what we'll do, just in case if you are a fast forward person, whoops, pulled a little too hard, we're just going to add a little glue at the very end on whatever our overhang pieces are. Okay. Oh, we don't want that one. We want these two. I am also checking to make sure my paper is not directional. If my paper is directional, I'm going to want to make sure that I keep it in the correct orientation. I like how quiet I get because you can tell that I'm trying to focus and get all my pieces the way I want them. Okay, we're getting close here. And I'm just continuing to trim some pieces. Sometimes I like to make them a little bit neater, or sometimes I like to make them smaller. I'm pushing on the floor what I don't think I could use anymore, but I sure could use that little, I have some little pieces like this. I feel like I'm going to be able to use those as some fillers here and there. This is looking pretty good. Add a little bit more of this. I don't see much of it. Oh, I don't have any of that, and that's super cute. Let's get a piece of that in right now. Oh, let's go this way. Oh, that's really cute. Oh, and if you ever have a color that you want to re-add someplace, just put it on top wherever you would like it. That's what's really nice about this, is it just kind of builds as you go. Oh, I think I wanted this for there. Oh, well, things happen. There we go. I like this. I've already forgotten what was on the other side. I like that as well. Oh, I like that as well. Okay, hold on. Let's do a little piece of this here. Put this last parts, these last ones together. Okay. And I could have taken the video and you know, stopped it to do this, but I did kind of want to share and show my actual process. This one's going to be a tough decision for me. I think because I already have one 12-inch piece, I'm going to cut a little bit off of this way. I have some good scraps left in this pack. I don't have any 12 by 12s. It's definitely, for me, this is scraps. I wouldn't be doing anymore. With this bottom piece here. Should do it. All right, and I do want to take a look at it because I am trying to decide if I want to add a little bit more of this blue right up here. But I kind of like it. I'm going to now hover my piece on top of it and just make sure everything is covered. I'm worried about this little piece right here, but okay. And that's what I thought. I got a little piece right there. I'm going to pull this one back. As long as it doesn't rip the paper, it's fine. Let me go this way with it. Let's see if that did it. I'm not real sure because I covered my one mark. Let's see. There we go. Just looking, paying attention to my border. I see a little peekaboo piece right over here. So just kind of anything can go there. Oh, I already lost it. I'm like, which one is it at? Here we go. All right, I see it. It's right here. And I see the little pencil there. Should have went beyond. Just popping it there. All right. It's amazing how it goes from this to this. But if you're doing like an architectural layout, like maybe you went and, you did architecture, I think creating a background like this would be really cool as well. Okay, I think I really like this. I do kind of wish I had a little bit of this right up in here, but I'm going to let it go. All right, I'm just going to do this to my piece and see if there's any place that I need to add extra glue to, and then if it looks okay and I'm feeling okay about it, I'll just go ahead and put everything down. I saw this little guy right there. There we go. All right. I grabbed so many papers. Here we go. Okay, so there it is. I really love this technique. Now, I had a little help from my Cricut on this, but you do not need a die cutting machine to create this. You really can just do an underside trace and cut. So from your printer or maybe from a book or whatever you have, or maybe you have a friend who did this and the leaf is left over. I kept my leaf for now anyway. You can simply just take that leaf, turn your paper over, decide what side you want your leaf to face, trace it out, cut it out, and then if you got a steady hand, you could even get that trace line, but I am going to show how to add the drawn line to this in that Design Space short that I have coming up. The Cricut. I think I'm calling them Cricut shorts, actually, because they're about Design Space and Cricut. Okay, there we go. Now, I want to make sure these pieces are going to stay down, so I'm just double checking. This one here, I didn't get enough. I don't want these lifting. There we go. I want them to stay tight. Okay, but I do want to get some dimension in my layout. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to bring in some of this twine. And this is, I've bought this twice in 10 years. And I use it in kits. I do all kinds of things. It's a lot on there. I got it from Amazon. But you can always ask me anything you would like, and I will happily share all my details. I'm going to put 2 things of this twine across the bottom. I have a lot more than I need. I don't want to waste it because I'm just going to do a tape around. Let's try right about there. Even that is plenty. There we go. Let's see. That's going to work. So I have 2 pieces of this twine just folded over. It's a jute. But another thing I want to, you don't need the twine. Use a ribbon. Use whatever you have that could potentially match whatever you're working with. That's all you need. All right, this is going to come across the bottom for me. I'm going to take the twine, I'm holding, this is the cut end, and then this is the end I folded. And I'm going to, so I just put my hand through it, and I'm going to put my hand through, and I'm going to flip it and bring it around just a couple of times so that when I put it down, I'm going to be able to get a crisscross out of it. Okay, that's going to be good. Some twines will stay better than others. Okay, and now I'm just going to grab a piece of washi tape. Well, I'm going to grab my washi tape dispenser. I'm going to start working with this. Put that over there. I'm going to use my thinner washi tape to hold it on the front real quick. I want to make sure I keep, I don't know which way I twisted it. There we go. I want to keep that twist if I can. There we go. I'm too far one side. So what I did was I just pressed the washi tape here. Now you can slide this back and forth. Look. See that? I love that little tip. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over. And we're going to seal it on the back. You can do this with glue dots. You can do it with Scotch tape. Do it with whatever. I always have washi tape that I'm destashing because I don't use washi tape in my projects almost ever. I can't say never because I did use some washi tape years ago. But normally for me, washi tape is a tool. Or I'll put it on my envelopes. You know, when I'm mailing cards and stuff. But for me, washi tape is definitely a tool. So I'll always have some. Okay, peel this off. This is a nice, this gold is a nice light tech washi tape, but I really pushed it. I just felt my paper ripping. you know, mini dot paper is it's more fibrous, so I think it's more likely to rip than some of the other papers, but I love it so much I'm willing to put up with it. Okay, so now I have this twine down here at the bottom, and I'm going to spread these apart. There we go. Spread this apart, and now it'll have a little spot where it stays together there. I actually have like 3 twists there, it looks like. Okay, there it is. I love it. Okay, let's make it even a little bit better. All right, we're going to come in here for this one, and now this is a cover for me. So this is going to be a cover to an album that I'm doing. So I'm going to want to add, you know, a little bit more to it. Here we go. And those cutouts, they give you some good quality crafting for being made with scraps. Plus, I took the time to create them on my Cricut. I'm going to go on both sides of the twine first. I'm really just going to put foam tape wherever I want, but I'm not going to cover the entire thing. I have a friend who needs to hear that. She knows who she is. All right, here we go. A couple more, and that should do. So much foam tape. You guys can use way less than me if you would like to. All right, put that aside. And the ones that I want to make sure that I get the most are really just kind of the tops and the bottom. I don't need to peel it off. Okay. And now I'm going to center this, and this is another 1/4 of an inch. There we go. So now it has some dimension, and it has that twine, and it's really bringing it out. Okay, you can see the little mark that I have on the where that washi tape. Yeah, you have to be a little more careful with mini dot paper. It's more fibrous, and but I really do love it, and I'm just learning what works and how to peel it off. But yeah, okay, here we go. This is gonna be it. Oh, I love this. You definitely could have inked all the pieces. Now in the bonsai exhibit, that look at that. In the bonsai exhibit that I did, I drew little stitches to kind of make it look like it was quilted. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave this one just like this. Look. Isn't that just awesome? And it's just a bunch of your scraps, and you can imagine all the different things you can do. I would love to show 10 of these, but I'm not going to be able to show 10. You may see a special one coming up with a circle if I get it in this series. Okay, let's pull in my photo. I have this photo here, and it's going to take up quite a bit, which is a shame, but you know, it is part of it. All right, and I'm thinking I'm going to swap it out. Let's grab some of that yellow. I think if I change this out to this yellow, it is going to have some nice pop. And this is a yellow that's from my de-stash papers. So that means this, for me, this is a yellow that I'm just not going to be reordering or using anymore. And I try to use it every chance I get. You know, as long as it matches. It's not throwaway paper. It's still good paper. Let's just take a look at the difference here between these. All right. So with the red, and then with the yellow. I think I'm going to go with the yellow. I think the yellow has just a little bit more pop. I really did want to bring some of that red in, so maybe I'll be able to bring some reds in this other way. Another thing I thought about doing was, instead of putting the twine around this, I thought about putting the twine around my photo, but I eventually ended up thinking I liked it around that. So that would be something else I would try. All right, and now off to the side, I have some close to my heart yellow orange bling that I'm trying to de-stash. Now, I think I will put this on foam tape. Once again, it's a cover. So I normally do try to put a little bit more oomph into my cover, even more so than my ending pages. But I do like to do those. Okay. There we go. And now I have these stickers that I can also work with. And I have some scraps. So let's put this final, we'll put these final bits to bed. I like how this is plaid and checkered, and then this is checkered. It almost looks like there's a continuation of the pattern around. I don't want to cover this. That's my biggest thing. Oh, I wish that wasn't plaid, but it is. I would have liked that to not be plaid, but there we go. Okay, so now I have It's Fall, Y'all, Great Memories, and these were a couple that I was looking at, but my goal is to not cover too much of this. So Thankful, Grateful, Blessed is very cute. And I hadn't spent a lot of time looking at the stickers, knowing what I wanted to do. I really just kind of wanted to let this come to me. I am grabbing this border, which I may or may not use, and just seeing if I like the little border over here. Or a portion thereof. You can always cut the border. I think I'm going to lay it down very lightly and then take a look on whether or not I like it. Let's see, right about there maybe. It has like a kink in it right here. I'm trying to make sure that I feel like it takes away from it. Let's see if I can pull it off. Once again, mini dot paper, so it was a challenge. Okay. All right, I feel like it takes a little bit too much away from there. I'm going to grab this Grateful and put that right there. I'm going to stick with less is more on this. I kind of had a feeling that that was what I wanted to do. Let me see if this is one piece or nope, these are all separate. Okay. The Blessed is one piece. Let's see what that looks like. All right. Got to make some decisions, right? Isn't that always the way? And I like that. Just kind of planning it out in my mind. I was thinking about if I wanted that border, this scallop border underneath of here. I don't feel that takes too much away, and I think that could also add a little something for where I'm going to put my others. All right, I just want to straighten this out a little bit. That up a little, make sure I can get that across. Adding that. There we go. Oh, that's cute. Okay, and now I think right here is where I was thinking about putting a little something. And I think I'm going to go with Great Memories. It matches the Grateful. It brings a little bit more right down here. I'm going to add that on foam tape. But thinking I could make something with these little trees with it down here in the corner. So I'm going to pull these off and see if I would like one or two of those. And then I'm thinking of adding just a couple of little leaves around it and calling this one. So I want to go ahead and work on this embellishment first. Okay. Oh, I cleaned up and I put my little tray away, and now I don't know where my little anti-static, I don't know where my sticky non-sticker thing is. There it is. It's hiding from me. It was like it's normally right here. I have a lot of scrap collections pulled right now for this series. It is quite a bit. That one's still sticky. Okay. This side. All right, let's see. That feels pretty good. Okay. So what I'm thinking is of taking this Great Memories and kind of putting it right down here, but maybe having these two little trees tucked so that it gives me an embellishment cluster, but with this embellishment cluster, I'm going to get all the layering that I want. and I had to take the sticky off of it for, you know, the layering purposes. But I'm going to get all the layering that I want for this little embellishment cluster, but then I'm not going to take anything away from that. It's going to go up a little bit higher. All right, we're going to put this one on first. I'm going to use a little bit of glue. I did need to take the sticky off so I can move them around, but they're going to stay flat. So just a little bit of glue there. And I don't want to cover the center of that tree. That's gone there. And then this one's going to go on foam tape. I think I'm going to like this a lot. All right. I'm curious to know if you guys find that you like is crafting with scraps stressful to you? I've spoken with a couple people and they're like, oh no, I just love a brand new paper pack. And I love a brand new paper pack too. But I do understand how, like, if you only have a little bit left over, how that could kind of stress you out. I'm not high enough. Lucky I got it before it dries. There we go. I was just not high enough there. There we go. I like how that's going to come out of there. Now I'll be able to spread this just a little bit more. Bring that there. Okay. Very cute, very cute. Okay, this is almost going to do it for me. Really, I want the focus to be on that technique. I want to see if I want to add this in the upper corner. I feel like that's a little heavy on this side, and I feel like this is a little too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the plat off of this piece right here. This is such a nice set of stickers. We picked this out to be one of the giveaways when you place an order because I knew that I could use it. I love fall. All right, no foam tape, just nice and flat there. All right, and now I want to grab some leaves or some little unicorns or things like that to just kind of put around. Not too many, but I'm not loving them actually. Isn't that the way it goes? You think you're going to like something and then maybe you don't. I think this might do it for me actually. Yeah, I want to place some strategic bling, and then if I decide I want to add more, I want to pull back. When I have something where I'm not going to add 50 million embellishments, sometimes it's a little hard for me to do less, if that makes any sense. You could also add some red in here, but I decided I would like to kind of stay with this lighter kind of yellow that's here. All right, let's see what we have. Let's put this here. It's not going to take much, and this might be my final bling. Over here by the grateful, I'll put a little heart. I wish I could use that lighter yellow, but I'm thinking I wouldn't love it. We're going to go right here. I have it. Okay, there it is. Like stuck to me. All right, maybe another one down here by the great memories. A little heart there too. I feel like I want the heart on the other side because I have it on this side at the top. I'm just going to move it to this side. There we go. Okay, that's going to do it. And here it is. I really love this technique. I could probably do it at nauseum for some, but not for me. You can see we have you don't need a lot for this because you wouldn't want to cover that up. Now, I also wanted to share, this is the pen. Oops, got it. It's a piece of blank. This is the pen drawn on top of the mini dot, and you can kind of see whenever it goes over a dot, you do get like the slightest little extra kind of, I guess, but it's barely noticeable. I only knew like right here, so it's only noticeable because I looked for it. So yeah, this pen technique for the tracing can definitely be used with the mini dot as well. And so I was happy to discover that. This is the first time I used the mini dot. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope you are enjoying this series. This one took me a little while because I was indecisive. Are you in my club? Right. All right. Well, guys, thanks so much. I really appreciate you letting me share these scrapping with scraps ideas, and I hope that you'll continue to watch the series. I'll make sure that there's a full playlist right here on the Creating with You YouTube channel. If you like this technique, you like the video, or maybe you're just looking for some relaxing time, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to leave me any questions, or maybe even let me know what your favorite technique is to do with incorporating your scraps into your scrapbook layouts. I think that the creative community here is such a collaborative, wonderful group, and I love the shares. I love to get ideas from other people and share that with everyone. So thank you, and have a fabulous crafty day.